1.
Here we go!
All right, 5 o'clock on a Monday. Let's do this. Let's hit the books. Part of the Hammer Betting Network, sponsored by FanDuel, alongside the man, the myth, the legend himself, Joey Knish, producer extraordinaire Zach Phillips. I am merely Brad Powers. Before we recap last week's action, before we get to all your questions, comments, and concerns, and there probably should be a lot of concerns concerning how poor the best bets were last week. Before we get into any of that, let me remind everybody that we are indeed sponsored by FanDuel this season, and you can start off your college football season off with a win on FanDuel, because right now new customers can kick off the season with $200 in bonus bets. Just place any $5 bet and you'll get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. You can use them on spreads, live bets, totals, so much more. Obviously, FanDuel, one of the first to market when it comes to pretty much anything in college football these days, win totals, futures markets, weekly basis as far as the big games of the week. You can visit FanDuel.com/hitthebooks. That's FanDuel.com/hitthebooks to download America's #1 sportsbook. That's FanDuel.com/hitthebooks. You must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in DC. First online real wager money only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued at non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, or visit mdgambling.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE New York or text HOPE New York in New York. Knish, 3-9 is the record. I counted. Zach can tell me if that's wrong, but I got us for 3-9 on Saturday. Totally unacceptable.
No, yeah, and it's funny. Mackenzie O and Joey K downside. Yeah, no, if you see the background now, I had to sell the cozy place and get a new residency in Detroit after that disaster. So yeah, not a great week. Gotta take the punt. Yeah, downsize. Yeah, now I'm one of those Detroit trailer parks there, asking people for handouts over here. So yeah, no, not a great week. Of course. I mean, just it all summed up by the Central Michigan 20.5 game that they should have probably, lost by like 10. Illinois hits a 60-yard field goal. Central Michigan onside kicks towards the end of it, down 2 touchdowns, loses by 21. Woof. Yep. Not a great
week. I mean, I'm sure there's the clip of me saying, that half point won't matter.
Yeah, yeah, we can cue that one up. So, yeah, no, it was a rough one. Rice, another one. Rice was overcooked. I swear to God, 90 seconds into that game, I knew that bet was in trouble. Like, I saw versus Rice, watched a few plays, and was like, oh boy,
I don't know what's wrong with Rice this year.
I know, like they had no juice, and so yeah, that one was a rough one. So hey. But we're not laying down for another week, baby. We're gonna get right back to it, get back in it, and hey, hopefully get back on the right side of things this week. You're gonna have weeks like that in college football. Just is what it is. You got to take the punches. I used to take these a lot worse than I do nowadays. But that took a while. But you got to get right back on the horse. You're not gonna win, no matter who you are. Best in the business, best to ever do it. Not gonna win every week. You're gonna have weeks like that. So. Yeah, can't let it get down and go right back to the well, to the lab, whatever cliche you want to use.
Did you know Illinois kicked the 60-yard field goal on the final play of the first half?
Outdoor 60-yarder.
Yeah, in Illinois, that stadium's a wind haven.
Yeah.
I was just there in the spring, and then we couldn't even catch a break. I don't understand. I bet the South Alabama game on Thursday night. I bet the over. I faded a release after they pushed the total down. I got that bet voided. It was 87-10. They beat Northwestern State. You and I give out VMI, and I bet VMI. That bet counted for some reason. And I'm bringing this up because both games got shortened in the second half. So the one I won gets voided. The one I lose counts. I bet them at two different books. It's just that sums up the weekend for me.
Yeah, and I hear you. And some people, that's a house rules one where at FanDuel apparently, and because I bet some VMI a number of places. FanDuel doesn't do. They only do the 55 minutes for NFL. They have like a clause for college football. If it goes 10 minutes in the fourth quarter, it counts. So a lot of places just do 55 minutes straight up. So, and that's one of those, hey, you're on the wrong side of it. If we were on the other side of that, we'd be like, oh, finally got one over on them. So yeah, that was not, that I can tell you, that's another one to sum up.
All right, that's enough of that. Let's get to new week, new day.
New week, new day, baby.
Fabulous One, a new member. We appreciate you, Fabulous One. RW Fan 23 has been a member for a while. Thoughts on Texas minus 45, UL Monroe and the tout off?
I love when these are. I love
a lot of tout offs already. That's the day and age we live in. I lean more Texas. I think there's more juice with Arch in the lineup. I laid Texas on the open. 45, I think, is about right. I laid 42, but I would prefer the Texas side. Where are you on this one?
You know what? It's going to be a show off. Not only a tout off, but a show. I hit the books off because I like ULM, and I think part of it is, I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, I love me some Arch, baby.
We'll go head to head at 44.5.
Well, let's go head to head to start off the show.
Head to head.
But I love me some. But part of the Texas, I think the cap in these games where you wanted them to blow out the Colorado States and the UTSAs is after yours, you're running the same offense with Arch afterward, and the Arch is coming in, and boy, he looks good, baby. He's got a lot of juice. Now that's kind of out the window. Now, if it's a 40-point game and Arch goes out, you're on to the third stringer at that point. Also,
third stringer can play. I watched him in the spring game.
He can play. I mean, I listen. I'm not. Texas has got the depth, but I mean, 45 to a ULM team that it's been better than advertised through 2 weeks. And you know what? A little bit of. I think they had 2 weeks to prepare for this one. I think they'll run super slow tempo.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Just kind of run it. So 45 was a little bit. Rich for me.
You get 45 out of your head. You got 44.5.
Well, I mean, listen, if you're betting, listen, 44.5 head to head. If you're betting this and you want to shop it for a 45, I did bet some 45.
I think they run offense with Arch. So, but I hear you. It's not an ideal situation. If I had to, I would say you're probably 51.5, 52% against me on this one. Just saying. RW Fan 23, thoughts on JMU plus 10 and another tout off. They call me square. I'm on the favorite on this one. JMU did not look. They played Gardner Webb. Now I know Gardner Webb the next week almost beat Charlotte, but
this is another one we're going at. I'd rather have the key thing we want to point out to people is
who have they played? They haven't done anything. I know they're off a bye week. They haven't done anything. Their team is playing for Indiana. You know what you got. I love Bob Chesney, but you don't know what you got.
Yeah, apparently you don't love Bob enough because Bob getting double digits here.
All right, we'll go head to head at 10.5 on this one.
Another head to head to start it off. I like it. because, and I mean, I guess this has been a North Carolina team that. They haven't had some success to start the year, but it's been all on the ground. Third string quarterback now. I think Chris Dwellin. You can debate how much better or worse he is than the other two that they've had so far. I don't like teams that don't have much of a passing offense trying to get multiple score margin against a JMU team that, again, it's not last year's team. I get it. They're all playing for Indiana, who looks pretty damn good, if you're saying so. But I can't get to the number here with UNC getting double digits. So, yeah, I like them anything over 10.
There you go. Head to head, 10.5. Charles in the chat, any preseason number you have on Florida State you have to throw out at this point? Cal is the best team Florida State's faced to date. I don't know about that. How is FSU still laying points? They have not come close to covering a spread. I didn't bet the game. Did you?
This is one of those catch a falling knife weeks. Because I saw some, I think our show sponsor had some early like Cal 5.5. I think that was the opening number.
Wow.
That
I didn't see that.
And now, obviously, that got bet down, and we're looking at, under a field. Some places there's even a few sparing 1.5s I see out there, 2.5 at FanDuel. But I guess is this the rock bottom of the market for Florida State here? Being
I
under
don't know yet. I don't know. Maybe the team's quit, so I can't bet it. You can only bet Cal, but I didn't bet it.
I haven't bet it either. I would have a hard time passing up Florida State pick if it got there.
Fair enough. Yeah, because I think Memphis is a little bit better than Cal, aren't they? Yeah.
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 You're more of a Cal truther than me, but
I am a Cal truther. I should have pushed back on you on the summer show, giving them out their under. I took advantage of that and bet over. They got a good scouting department. They got a clue. I say that, and they still got some tough games. But Chris in the chat, ECU +7, juice 7.5, Middle Tennessee +14. Oh, 2 games I didn't bet. Did you bet ECU's playing Liberty? Liberty has not looked good. ECU, man, running tempo, but their offense sucks. No efficiency. Middle Tennessee had a bunch of yards against Western Kentucky, but again, I don't think they're nothing. Duke, could have lost outright last week. Was that their scare? 7.5. I think you take the hook there. Where are you at on this game?
Yeah, I'd lean with the 7.5 there. And again, I know this is an East Carolina show, East Carolina podcast. But I agree. It's kind of been boom or bust with Garcia, and just not enough, as you said, not enough efficiency on offense. Liberty, I don't know. With 3 data points, 3 kind of underwhelming outs there that something, at that point, through 3 weeks, then it kind of gets a little bit of a, like, I'll give it 4. If you don't get right in the first 4, then something's wrong. You're a third of the season.
Oh, they could lose this one outright. I could see if ECU. If I started to see a little bit more efficiency in one of these games, I'd have picked them to win outright. I think it's a game you should consider for the money line. Late in the week, because I could see there being some variance here. If ECU cleans up the turnovers, you can make case of the better team so far. Middle Tennessee, did you do anything in the Middle Tennessee Duke game? I played under.
One, I like that play. 2, I can't touch it. Middle Tennessee is horrible. Western Kentucky, that was a walk. A couple garbage time touchdowns late. Obviously got blasted by Ole Miss. The other, Tennessee Tech should
have won the game.
I know they should have won the game, and they're that's not like a upper tier FCS team. So I've got some concerns. Also, Duke, a little bit more juice than I thought. You know what? So
really, they almost lost to Connecticut last week.
Well, hey, it was a rally the troops effort from UConn there.
I like Connecticut.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, speaking of, that might be another head-to-head because that was an FAU get-right game last week, baby.
And now they got +5 turnovers.
They might do it again to the Mora crew. But no.
We'll go head-to-head. You want to fire up that one, Zach? Connecticut, Florida Atlantic. We'll go head-to-head on this one.
I do like that. The under in the Middle Tennessee Duke game. I will agree with you.
I'll go head-to-head at 2.5. I'll go head-to-head at 2.5.
Give me it.
All right.
Give me the plus 2.5. The cheap 2.5. Oh, yeah. FAU's going up, and they got Tom Herman, baby. He's back.
One game where they're +5 in turnovers. Nah, not buying it. Are we going under best bet for Middle Tennessee or get back to it?
I mean, if you're, I'm co-signing that
I
one.
bet
So.
it, but it was above the key number of 55. I'm not joking. 55 is a key total. Yeah, I mean, I'm in like 49. There was a lot of yards in that Western Kentucky Middle Tennessee game. But man, Duke to me seems like a dead under team. No efficiency on offense, even though they're running pace. And then, Manny's still got the defense looking okay.
Yeah.
Want to go under?
Yep. Let's go.
All right, under 53.5. First best bet of the show. Under 53.5, Middle Tennessee Duke. There you go. Boom. Shawnee Sports, thoughts on Carolina +3 at home against Virginia? Virginia was awful in the second half Saturday. I bet on them. Yeah, it looks like the whole world bet on them. I couldn't. That was one where I wish I would have saw that number in the middle of the week when Maryland was catching 3. Turnovers, though, were the issue for the most part. I bet Coastal, but I wouldn't bet it at 3. I kind of made it 3 and bet it above 3. Where you at on that one?
I mean, it was kind of agree with the market movement there so far on Virginia. And again, it was a second half to forget for Virginia last week. I don't know if that takes me off of them, though, as far as the season perspective concerned, because I think the offenses look pretty good. The weight effort doesn't look as impressive anymore. But I still think they've got, a lot of pop there on offense with, Calandria, and that they didn't run it particularly well either against Maryland. So I'm not totally Coastal would be more of I would say it's more of a Coastal fade for me in this one. So I was a little higher on Virginia than the market, and not particularly there on Coastal. So, but not 3.5 though.
I watched the Coastal Temple game today. Coastal didn't look that good.
No,
and I think 10 was on Temple in that game. So I don't know. Anything above 3, I lean Coastal, but it's not one. I made like 50 bets. It's not one of my favorite bets. Friday night, Stanford, Syracuse, thoughts? No, I like Stanford in the game. I bet Stanford. That's what I bet. I think there was some early money on Stanford, but probably me. But sometimes you're like, oh, the market's this way. Yeah, I'm probably the only MFer betting this. 10 now. I'd certainly still lean that way at 10. Where are you at on this game? Oh, 9.5. I don't bet it at 9.5.
Yeah, I don't bet it at 9.5. You're head to head with the old franchise on this one. He liked Cuse under 10. I gotta be honest, personally, kind of liked Stanford getting the full 10 as well. But it would have to be, as you said, a full 10.
Let's revisit that one on Friday.
Yeah,
because it's a Friday game and you'll get a more of a read on the market. Public will be involved on a Friday night game. But yeah, I kind of like Stanford. I think they got the better coach. Although Syracuse look good so far. Both teams off a bye. I just trust Stanford's coaching staff to have a better game plan. Plus, I like that double digit. Thoughts on Ole Miss to win it all? 13-1 feels right. Light to me with how they've been performing, the expectations early on. I mean, they just haven't played anybody yet, so that's my only concern.
Yeah,
I mean, they look good. Tennessee and Ole Miss. I mean, I did tweet this. I mean, would you be stunned? I mean, if anyone told me, hey, Ole Miss and Tennessee are the best 2 teams and they play for it all, I mean, I wouldn't laugh at that right now. But they got to play people.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. That I mean, you do what you can. Which you're playing these cupcakes and they're absolutely burying them. So it looks good. We talked about this in the summer. The Lane Kiffin experience of having to win multiple playoff games. I don't know. Also, now at 13-1, that's not enough meat on the bone for me on that to want to back them.
What's their playoff? Do you have the playoff market? Because I'd be much interested in laying a little bit of juice on them to make the playoffs.
Looks like minus 290 at FanDuel.
Yeah. Oh, no, not minus 290.
Yeah, that's
it was like minus just a couple weeks ago. It was like minus what 110ish, minus 120.
Yeah, yeah.
Missed the boat on that. I got to get better. That's a big major improvement that I need to make is getting better handle on that one. Projecting forward. That was one of our winners though last week. We did during the show leaked down to 20.5. Then we give that on Saturday's game or either Friday or Saturday.
Yeah,
that was one of our lone winners last week. Didn't have to sweat that one. Clearly the right side. Market was dead wrong on that one. Alex Grage in the chat. Thoughts on Illinois and the Illini being able to contain Nebraska's Raiola and score a bit on that Husker defense? Give him a game in Lincoln. Yeah, I regret not taking the doubles. I think it opened 10 at one of the books that opened. That I need 10 though. I can't bet it at single. Where are you at on that one?
Yeah, it's thin. I haven't been overly impressed with Illinois. I got to be honest with you. You threw that even with the Kansas upgate, which I thought was a turnover margin there. Little fluky cover versus Central, and I think Nebraska's like real deal. So again, I'm not dying to get involved at -9 or anything like that. But if I got a 7, I'd be in on Nebraska. Do I think it gets there? No, but I will say Raiola has kind of checked all the boxes so far for a true freshman quarterback that you're thinking like that was the big question. How far could Nebraska go with him? I mean, I don't think it's like a big, playoff Big Ten championship type of year, but he looks real deal.
You think?
Are you not buying into it?
Nah, I don't know.
What? Well, you think that you're not liking the Patrick Mahomes cosplay or whatever he's doing? But
I don't know if I like the kid. I'm just
what I mean. But what? I mean, I'm not saying to go out for beers with him. I'm saying he's playing like. How many quarterbacks in the Big Ten are
played? Who's he played? I mean, come on.
Who's he? How many quarterbacks in the Big Ten are outplaying him at the moment? Would you rather have Will Howard or Dylan Raiola right now if you're Ohio State?
Good point. I don't know. Will Howard. I haven't seen enough of. See, here we are, week 4, and I don't know who Buckeyes have. Will Howard hasn't played anybody yet. I mean, I know they played Colorado, but I mean, they didn't do anything after the first a couple of possessions of the game. So I don't know.
I mean, that was right. That second half offense bogged down there, but
not great. So I don't know. Keep in mind, one of them was a fluke, bounced up in the air and wide receiver caught it. The other was a pick 6. So what they do against Colorado? Not much, man. So people are going to get bored of this, but I think Friday night's a good data point. I'll get a good feel. I mean, hopefully on these two teams, and people are going to get sick of hearing that. And when you don't play anybody, that's what happens. Derek, curious what you guys think about Oklahoma State and Arkansas this week. I like both of these sides. Arkansas took some money today. Oklahoma State got faded. I guess Cam Rising's playing. I got to be honest with the other two. I like Oklahoma State, but I'm waiting for the line to get higher.
The 3-letter service played
Utah
at 3, and I thought that was the right side. And now,
of course, it's moved 4.5 points.
But I mean, that was there this weekend. It's not here on the show, but I liked Utah as a dog there. Thought that was a.
You want to go head to head on that one? I'll take Oklahoma State.
Yeah, baby, give me another ad. Zach, mark it down. The guy's feisty this week, and I'm ready to put him in the dirt here. So yeah, give me Utah.
I'm not buying that he's.
And if Cam Rising doesn't play, I'm cashing that play out.
Yeah, I'm not buying that he's 100%. So, all right, there we go. Arkansas, Auburn. I actually lean Auburn.
Oh boy, I will say that was it. I watched that most of that UAB Arkansas first half. That was not a great look for Arkansas all around. And then again, you don't want to just react to one half, but it was like UAB offensive execution. Also, it was like UAB was just like physically pushing them around on their front there. I swear to God, if UAB had a better coaching staff, I think that should have been like a competitive game. So I mean, it was reasonably competitive, but then going down to the stretch there, Arkansas was able to get the offense rolling. But I don't know. I would lean a little bit Auburn too. This Auburn makes me want to throw them.
Is it 2? Where's it at now?
I thought it was at 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that one. 2 would be a best bet. I would. Yeah. Nah, I can't play that.
No.
Can't play that. Steve in the chat, is Iowa now an automatic over team? Yeah, there's probably priors baked in there. They're 3-0 in the over after 2 years of going like 20-2 to the under. I'm not betting it this week against Minnesota.
I was going to say, I think some of that's opponent driven so far this year. This is not the week of Neither of these teams really loves the forward pass at all, or running a play before 2 seconds on the play clock. So, no, this one I would need like 33.5 before I'm even considering in over here.
Where are you at on Tennessee Oklahoma game? Derek's talking about Tennessee. Obviously, 65-0 at halftime against Kent State last week.
Yeah, I mean, Kent. I will say again, Tennessee, same thing as Ole Miss. Done everything you can do against bad opponents. Absolutely blow them. Kent State though would be like the 50th best team in FCS, and I'm not. That's not like hyperbole. Like
no,
they lost to a middle A FCS. Like that team is so far down.
Lost to them. They got beat by St. Francis.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So yeah. I
think St. Francis is 1-2. Lost to 2 FCS schools,
yeah.
2 bad FCS schools, and they beat Kent State.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, do you think this is a lot? Do you think it's gone too far?
I bet Oklahoma. It feels like just when it just feels like too easy for Tennessee. I think it's gotten too much of an adjustment. I haven't liked Oklahoma though at all. I mean, I have concerns that I look like an idiot. I'm not comfortable making a best bet. I'm comfortable making a bet personally, but not a best bet. I look like an idiot enough.
I do think Oklahoma's offense was more like they ran a lot of Jackson Arnold last week.
Yeah, they did.
I thought that was. It seemed. I don't want to say they figured it out, but the defense has been pretty good this year. And I know what we'll be seeing on the video this week with Oklahoma money line. At 7.5, I would lean that way too. It's. I agree with you. Not in the best bet territory though.
Not at 6.5.
No.
But yeah, 7.5 is the bet that I made. I mean, I bet that and was okay with it. My numbers are nowhere near this, and I've upgraded Tennessee like a touchdown. I've downgraded Oklahoma significantly. I can't get to this number, but another one we'll certainly talk on Friday on that one. Eat that. Thoughts on Indiana 27.5 Charlotte, Georgia Tech 10.5 Louisville. Well, Indiana line's a pretty good line because I think that's painted 28.5, or did they get bet down?
I mean, they're just steamrolling right now, and Charlotte was really, really bad last week, and I to the point where I was texting like some people is Biff on the hot seat. I now granted they did come back.
Charlotte's really bad this year.
Yeah, so with that, I mean, I can't do it at over 4 touchdowns. So if you got in at under 28, respect that, but.
I can't bet it now.
I can bet. I honestly gun to my head at like 28.5. I'd probably lean Charlotte.
Agree. Georgia Tech Louisville. I kind of lean Louisville on that one.
Yeah, it's been this feels like one of those stretches for Georgia Tech where they're kind of due.
5th straight week. Louisville's off a bye. That's already.
Yeah. And again, we don't talk too much spots on this show. This is a bad spot for Georgia Tech, and one of those that maybe you can't even factor it all into the number. I'd love a 9.5 or a flat.
Yeah, let's. That's a game we'll come back to on Friday. See where it's at. Right now, it's on the wrong side of a key number. If it's on the right side, or 10, we'll have to make a decision. 9.5, it's a go.
Yeah,
on Louisville. Charles in the chat, Reed looked pretty dynamic last week. A&M is playing a far superior team this week, the 2024 Max Champs.
Look, do you see who's favored now to win? Let me make. I've seen it a few places.
In Northern Illinois?
No, it's not at some shops. At FanDuel,
FanDuel still has Toledo. I mean, come on, Toledo. It's not Toledo.
It is still. It's back to Toledo now, but some other places have our boys as the favorite there. Still only 3-6. I bet some BG. Listen, it was like 24.5. Kind of still lean that way at 23, to be honest with you. At 22.5, I couldn't do it, but
I lean A&M. I like Reed. I don't know though. BG's off a bye. We'll see.
Yeah. I
like Reed over Wegman though. I can tell you that.
I will say that he especially kind of gives him an element of that mobility that Wegman wasn't really. And maybe I say maybe the defensive kind of, but BG wasn't overwhelmed by the Penn State front,
That's
which
true.
I
Good
think
point.
is on par with this A&M front. So we'll see there. But I agree. Reed definitely gives them a different element they didn't have. I don't know. Man, I know Florida was a nice get right position there, but I'm still not loving all around what I'm seeing from Texas A&M.
Tailgate tent. One of our 65-watt viewers. Anyone here have any winners, or do I have to keep providing them? Tent's off to a good start.
He is off to a good start.
Yep.
But you get a little yappy all of a sudden.
I don't know why
Bad
he
week.
get yappy. I don't know why he's chirping at me. I was the first one. Probably he woke up. And thanks for becoming a member. He probably woke up on Sunday morning, and what was the first message he got was, good job from me. So I don't know. I don't chirp at people when I'm up. I know how this goes. You get humbled quickly. Although Tent's doing a really good job, and it's nothing fluky. I mean, he's just not winning. He's winning big so far. So check him out on Twitter, X Tailgate Tent. He'll get you hooked up. There you go. There's a little promo for you, Tent. You're welcome. $20 should be in the mail. I'll give you my address off the air. Tom in the chat, any thoughts on the Georgia-Bama look ahead, Georgia 2.5 or ND 5.5 against Louisville? I was looking at this. Where are you at on that one? Both of those games.
I mean, I know this is, I'm
Louisville and Bama.
Yeah, the dog's barking. But I kind of lean Louisville in that one, if I'm being honest with you.
I agree. I was gonna see what happened this week.
Yeah, this is kind of again the Notre Dame coming up. We didn't even touch on that yet. That of course, we've got our 4 points of CLV. Leonard's playing. Let's not do anything. And of course, the best win in 800 years of Notre Dame football or whatever it's been. So, I know. I
don't know if you can bet the team, to be honest with you. I mean, I could see Louisville winning by 3 touchdowns or Notre Dame winning by 3 touchdowns. So I don't. They're almost unbettable right now.
Georgia, Bama. Did you take anything out of?
I would like 3, and I'll take Alabama.
Okay.
On that one, I got it closer to Georgia 1.
Yeah, I agree. I would need 3 to make a bet there. And maybe
we haven't talked Georgia. Oof.
Yeah,
not great.
That was a rough performance all around. Also, man, they're starting. Again, it's a team with a lot of depth, but they're beat up at a lot of places. And when you factor in some of the guys they've had kicked off the team, suspended, injured, I don't know if they can make it through this SEC schedule like previous Georgia teams have been able to. So,
they're not. No way. That road schedule, Bama, Texas, Ole Miss, might lose. So, I think it's more likely that they lose 2 than run the table. How's that for a hot take? But now the 12-team playoff, they're still in. I will caution, though, the last couple of years, they almost lost to Missouri on the road early. They almost lost to Auburn last year on the road early, and everybody threw them in the trash. And, they've still won 42 in a row for a reason in the regular season. Rutgers +5, Virginia Tech. That was in 3-letter word release, right?
Yep. Is that there's no way that
ain't no 5.
Yeah.
I'd be interested in Virginia Tech at 3.
Yeah, if you got in there, I think the number that was 4.5. That was, but yeah, Virginia Tech's been underwhelming, and it's 2 guys who were high in Virginia Tech to start the season. But do I think Rutgers offensively?
What did they play? I mean, I watched them against Howard. They didn't look nothing.
No, I agree, and I'm still not a fan of Calic Manis and that. So,
3.
Yeah, if it got a little lower
Friday, if it's 3, I think we might go on VT.
Yep.
LVD, Penn State, 48.5 and over 55.5. Hard to think Penn State doesn't name the score. We all know Franklin isn't afraid of covering. Kent State's remarkably bad. Yeah, the worst MAC team we've seen in a while. Yeah, even worse than last year's Kent State team. Where you at on this one? I haven't played it yet.
I haven't played it either.
The over, though.
I mean, these are Kent State's to a level of bad where it just seems like how long are you going to just keep running it up on them?
What's Penn State off a bye?
Yeah. So
I don't know. I would lean Penn State in the over.
Yeah, I'd probably lean that way too. I just I don't want to catch I don't want to get involved on Kent State games right now. Like, these are in such a random number place now, 50-point spreads where it's like, do we pull the starters? Do we put that? So yeah, I'm not dying to get in on them.
We'll get back maybe to that total on Friday. Fabulous one. Provided Utah State lands safely in Philadelphia, they have to be a play at least at less than a touchdown. Temple. No, I'm not there. Temple's dead last in turnover margin, man. They just cleaned up a couple of them. They'd be a little bit better. I'm not there yet. Where are you at there?
Yeah, I mean, I know the Spencer Petras might be back this week. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Because I got to tell you, I don't know. I kind of think Barnes is the better player. So yeah, I would lean, but I agree with you. Temple, at least offensively, Temple's been better the last few weeks and it's kind of shoulder pull. Defensively, I still think they're trash, but yeah, they were the right side versus Coastal, no doubt.
Yeah, need 7 or more. I was hoping to get more than 7. But yeah, I'm not looking to bet Utah State. I can tell you that. Brendan Linhart in the chat. Shout out to our boy Narduzzi and Holstein. Late game heroics again. Do we have anything on that game? I don't think we did.
No, but
quite a few people had Pitt in the over. So
yeah, the Nard dog there, just he's pulling it
I
out.
bet an under 6.5 win total. That's gonna be dead. It was like a win different. There's some, everyone. It's 5.5 painted everywhere. Some book had 6.5. I'm gonna lose 1 full win. Unbelievable. Chuck C, any under the radar cluster injury scenarios that have your guys' attention? Notre Dame's really banged up on the offensive line. They're down 3 starters now.
What's the line on that one? That's at FanDuel.
Against Miami, Ohio?
Yeah.
You like Miami, Ohio? I don't know, man.
I bet 28 today. So
you go Miami, Ohio best bet?
Where are you at that? Listen,
I didn't bet it. I kind of like the over. I don't think the offensive line is as bad as the guys replacing them actually were the starters last year. They just got beat out this year by the guys that never played before.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Listen, I know they just 66-7 coming off what we're talking about. I still lean that Notre Dame is more of the team that is going to struggle to get these type of margin in a lot of games. So to me, that was a get off the mat. We lost to NLU. We're going to smash Purdue. I still think Notre Dame's more of the team we saw in the first couple of weeks. That's not exactly this offensive juggernaut there. It was a great get right spot last week.
Want to go head to head? 27.5.
You like it? You're back in the Irish.
I think they're going to kill them.
Put it on another head to head, Zach.
Yeah. Listen, it's a MAC school, same point spread. If they're not dialed in, then I'd fire Freeman at halftime. They should be dialed in. We'll see though. They looked that looked like an angry team last week. I don't know. And I watched Freeman's press conference today. He looked angry, which is good. I like that. I like when people are fired up. Where are we at here? Other cluster injuries, I don't know. I haven't got there yet. Obviously, a lot of quarterback issues this week has been the main thing. Rising in or out. Looks like he's in. NC State's quarterback's out. Tyler Van Dyke, I see right before we came on the show, is out for the season for Wisconsin. We got one that's really interesting, and we're going to get to it. We'll see if we got a best bet, but we'll get to it right now. Charles in the chat. Interesting game is Toledo, Western Kentucky. What the hell is going on with Cowbell, Mississippi State? I know Joey K is Mr. Fade Toledo. You guys back in Velt Camp? Yeah, Finley's out. Velkamp's in. You think that's a downgrade? I think Velkamp threw 5 touchdowns and had 3 incompletions last week. I think it's 27 out of 30.
I'm kind of listen. I'm not off of I know it was a nice performance versus Mississippi State last week, but there's been a lot of talk that this Mississippi. Apologize to Dr. Brown, a resident Mississippi State fan. This is going to be like the worst. I've heard our friend Bud Elliott say on the cover, this show, they're like the worst non-Vandy team in 10 years or 15 years of SEC football. So yeah,
What is the Toledo Western Kentucky game at? 2.5. Is that a better? We got to wait for 3.
I know there's some 3s around. I don't know if we should go now or will it still?
Let's wait.
All right.
It ain't gonna change. If it goes to 3, yeah, let's take it. If it's 1.5 on Friday, I still might take Western Kentucky. Does that sound
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
All right. I do. It does. The numbers do matter. Contrary to my best bet on Friday or Saturday, the Central Michigan game. I got to get back in place. I'm sorry. Nicholas, do you guys think that USF gets back to 17? Do you still like it 16.5? Yeah. The old tout service missed that one this morning. The old tout service didn't have a good morning. Missed a lot of stuff. That was getting people were hitting the board quicker than anticipated. I lean South Florida, but I can't take it at 16.5. I preferred above 17.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I thought, when there was some 18, that was the red side, 18.5 for a flash for a bit.
Yeah.
Can't do it now.
Yeah, I saw that going right before I was going to release like 3 plays. And yeah, that was a good play. I don't know who was that 3-letter word on that one.
No, that was not them.
Nah, that's somebody. That's why it wasn't them. I think somebody else was going early, whether it's a betting group or a service. They were going a little early today. Chuck C, heartwarming story, NIU, but I can't get to a 14-point spread there. We all agree. I agree. It's just there's been so much anti-Buffalo money late in the week, 3 straight weeks. So I'm kind of getting greedy and want a little more. Where you at on this one?
Yeah, no, I agree. And now there's little move to start this week. But yeah, that was that was one of the ones the market was way off on last because Buffalo was handled.
We got a little 14.5 out there. Where's FanDuel at on this game?
13.5.
Oh, Jesus. The old FanDuel, the old hit the book shade.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't do it at 30. Yeah.
No. 14.5's out there. You can do with what you want. That would be okay with me. I'm not buying NIU you've seen Hammock, who I don't like. I don't think he's that great of a coach to begin with. He's been on the media tour for a week or so. I don't think they're going to be buttoned up. Buffalo is buttoned up, man. They're winning at the line of scrimmage. It's very repeatable the way they're winning games right now. And they were okay against Missouri, too. Missouri needed to score a touchdown like the final seconds to cover. Where are we at? Trevor Troiner sitting on Clemson -8. I think I got a middle. I'm sitting on almost 2 touchdowns at CLV. Depending on what your number is. What's your number now? If your number is 14, then go for a middle. If it's not, if it's 20 where the market is now, don't go for a middle. That's kind of my thought process.
I would agree with. I don't think you don't just middle to middle because you're sitting on a great number with like the thing, the deal of like, oh, I got this, 10 points if I don't cash it or something. I would sit right where you're at with the Clemson ticket, to be honest with you. And this is from an anti-Clemson guy, but NC State is
not good. I told you that Bailey was okay though. He led the comeback. Remember on Saturday's show? I was like, that Bailey guy's all right.
Yeah. Where are you on this one? I know some guys
I bet another I almost released Clemson, but it got hit last night. That was going to be the Sunday night play on the old tout service, and it got hit like 10 minutes before release. So I bet Clemson 20 is about where it should be. So,
yeah, I'd let that -8 roll.
Yeah, I agree. Speaking of, I don't see any of these. I'm looking at the questions. We got to talk Michigan USC. You want CLV? There were some plus double digits out in the market in the summer on this one. Now SC's favored by a touchdown. I don't think I've ever came into a week 4 game with 17. Hold on, I got to think. I have 19 points of CLV on this game already. Should I be playing back, Knish? You tell me. What's going on in Ann Arbor?
I tell you what's happening is it's Alex Orgy Heisman campaign starts this Saturday, baby. Little late to the party, but we're firing off. No more Davis Warren, and it's Orgy time. So yeah, I'd you know what? I'd be running to the hills with that ticket because I don't. Here's what if you're a Michigan fan, is just maybe too in the weeds, but if you're not gonna change the offense and run something that's more RPO based, that's more running quarterback, then there's no reason to make the switch. If you're gonna run the same offense, which is Davis, what you've been running for the last few years, which is like the JJ McCarthy, we're gonna drop back and if you're just gonna run that, then you're just gonna lose, because Orgy's not the type of passer that you're gonna have to get creative with that. And I don't know if the staff's gonna do it. So yeah, I wouldn't.
I'm not looking to play it back. I can tell you that.
No, I'm not either. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't have the
formula's there. Run some RPO. Run right.
I agree.
Can USC stop you? Now USC stopped LSU, but LSU I don't think is as good as expected. But yeah, you run right at them. They did have 300 yards rushing last week, although there's aspects that I just don't like about this Michigan team. I mean, even on defense, I'll give you one. I think Lincoln Riley's school is your boy Wink.
That's the other. Well, Wink.
Wink ain't no
week 2. And we'll see. I know last week he was not allowed to do as much Wink stuff against Arkansas State. We'll see how much comes back, but yeah, I agree with you that
it gives me Don Brown vibes. Michigan.
Yeah.
Does it give you Don Brown vibes?
Well, yeah, because I'm going to blitz no matter what. Like I have like one of the best, the 2 best D tackles in the country, and I'm going to send 6 all the time because that's what I do. I don't know. So yeah, I'm not loving that.
McDonald and Minner, I can tell you that Michigan defense. They miss your boy Harbaugh too. I don't know if who's got it better than us.
Right? No, it's not this. It's just not the same. That? Come back to us, Jim, please. Yeah, there. Hey. Proof is in the pudding, baby. Orgy, Jeffrey Benson.
You could have bought me. That was when you were in town. You could have bought me a couple drinks instead.
Well, when this cashes, I'll take you to the Spearmint Rhino, and we'll have a real good time after that. The 3 stacks of high society come in.
Nish, I can't even find this thing on FanDuel. There's no Orgy.
I don't think he's listed. Well. The problem is, Zach, he hasn't really played
I know
5 snaps so far this season, and it's week 4. So a little tough to win the Heisman when you don't play at all. But let me tell you, after a victory over the Trojans this week by 14.
Are you really saying that? Or
no, I'm not saying that. But, I mean, I
wouldn't be surprised if they won. The game plan's there. Run right at them. I mean,
the game plan is I just don't have faith in this staff to implement that game plan. That's one of those, live betting. If you see Michigan coming out with some like unique formation stuff, but Orgy and running some, then okay, jump on in. Until I see them run a different offense, if you're running the old play action drop back, no. I
gotta be honest. I'm not saying this could be bad for Michigan this year. Like 6-6, 7-5 bad.
Yeah.
Indiana's much better. Like,
right.
And I don't know if any games on the schedule safe. Let me look. Lucky we already talked about the Bama Georgia game. Obviously, we'll talk about that all next week. Or maybe I already mentioned that. Where am I at? Michael in the chat. Rutgers. No, we already looked at that. Rutgers. San Jose State plus 14. Sleepwalking. Yeah, I like San Jose State this week. Is it 14? Another one that got hit right before the old tout service was going to give it out. I like San Jose State.
Yeah, I would lean that way.
We'll see. That's a Friday game. Let's see where the market is on Friday.
Yeah.
But yeah, tough spot. Washington State, crying post game, just won their Super Bowl. San Jose State's better than I expected. I think we're in trouble on that win total bet that I sent you. We're in trouble.
They are better than expected.
Yeah, under 5.5. I think I think it closed 4.5. I think we're in trouble. They haven't played anybody, but we'll see. Christopher O'Donnell. Is that the Chris O'Donnell from Son of a Woman and Batman and Robin? Anyways, new member. That's before your time.
Yeah, it is.
Christopher O'Donnell. I know. I'm so old. The 90s are like ancient. Tailgate tent. The when I said Son of a Woman, you're like, what? Good movie. For those of you that you're muted.
Am I back on?
Yeah, you're back on.
All right.
Great scene. It's scene at the end. Al Pacino won the Oscar for it. It's unbelievable. Highly recommend the movie. Chris O'Donnell's a kid in the movie. Good movie, early 90s, back when movies were good. Tailgate 10, Arch Heisman. Have you done anything with this?
No, but I wish I would have in the off. I tell you what, in the off season, I was looking for like I mean, we remember the class.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
you
I
said
was.
it, and was like,
Now, granted, it didn't exactly happen how it played, but I need. It's funny because I tell you what, if Ewers was out for the season, I would be legitimately. I know the numbers got knocked down a lot of places, but that would be 100% live if he was out for the season. Now, I think he didn't. He's been playing too well. He'll get his job back when he's hurt. But if like the Arch media hype train would be absolutely off the radar right now. If with the way he's played, two, with how good Texas looks. Also, I mean, he looks Arch. I wasn't that much of a believer, but like seeing him play, did you see the top speed or whatever he got
not
up
that big
to?
of a believer. You're betting ULM Monroe against him this week. You don't like Arch. I love Arch.
Well, I mean, I'm a believer that he can, fit with 52-10.
Good point. Well done.
I know. And you know what? Nobody
know.
gave me 500 to 1 or 300 to 1 because I'd have $100 on that if they.
Yeah, like I think I gave you, what was it when we were doing that? It was like 75, 80 to 1. Maybe
I know nobody was over like 100, which
nobody was over. I never saw anything over 100. And yeah. We should have bet. That's one I regret. Probably should have pizza money on that one. Blake in the chat. I couldn't resist on Memphis minus 8.5, even with the hangover and travel. What's a buy point for you guys? It's kind of a stay away.
I argued with people. I got a college football group chat with a bunch of guys. That all, but and they all loved Navy. Our 3-letter service gave out Navy. They all love Navy.
I love Navy too at the right price, man. This ain't the price. You know what I was expecting? 13, 14. Weren't you?
Listen. I think Memphis. I think this Memphis team is kind of real deal, and it's not going to be the Memphis of like, I like Memphis under 10. I'll put it at that.
All right, we'll come back to that one.
It might got a little room to breathe there. So yeah, let's come back to it.
We'll come back. We might give out Memphis because power ratings say Memphis. I mean, you can give me flat spot all you want. I was expecting to bet Navy at like 14, and it wasn't even close. Onion Man, thoughts on BC at less than a touchdown against Michigan State? They seem like a legit team. Nah, I took over 7.5 with Sparty.
I know Sparty's the injuries are really piling up.
Are they? All right.
That would be the ones. Not enough. I don't think enough to, but I know some guys that played some minus. I think 5.5, 6.
Under.
If it got back to, I think you'd have buyers here on either side of 7.
All right, that's all it is. I got you. Under took some money, it looks like. I bet the under, too. That's probably my preference. Action Sports Central. How do you guys handle power ratings on teams like Florida State, Wyoming that have had extreme outcomes? Same can be said for the Saints in the NFL. I mean, all the outcomes for Florida State and Wyoming have been extremely bad. Historically, I've been conservative. It might be the wrong approach in today's day and age.
You know what? I would say I don't know, since sports betting I was talking to a guy about this the other day. Since sports betting was invented until about 2 years ago, I think conservative was the right approach. In today's portal roster turnover day and age, that it's just a new day. It's very hard to quantify because teams are 15, 20, 3, 2, 3, 4 touchdowns difference on a year-to-year basis in some cases. Florida State is like, I don't know, 28 points worse than last year's team. Like
at the high point of before the injury to Travis, probably.
Yeah. So I mean that was literally a once in a decade occurrence. But pre-transfer portal, you'd mostly never be between 0 and 7 points year to year. Now teams are 2, 3, 4 touchdown difference. So yeah, it's just NFL. I wouldn't do it.
No, don't
as drastic.
NFL, it's just been a goofy first 2 weeks. So it'll settle in.
So,
although I do think it's funny, everybody wins on X, and then people in the Survivor contest, 3/4 of the people are out just picking a winner in the first 2 weeks, and yet I got to hear about people hitting 75% against the spread. You're not. Come on, get out of here. Crestman, Brad. I know last show you mentioned leaning towards Baylor at Colorado. You think more money pour in the bus, or is this the time to take Baylor? I did bet Baylor on the open, but I need 3 or more. Where you at?
I tend to agree. I'm kind of surprised that got down. I saw that open. I think 4 circa.
Yeah, it was. I got it.
And then I thought
we might come back. Man, I hate this. We're gonna have to give out a few best bets here, but Friday. Let's see where it's at Friday, but because I don't think we're gonna lose much.
No, I don't think so either.
So,
but I mean,
I like Baylor. I mean, they put the hammer down in the second half against Air Force. I wanted that because I was like, oof. I mean, if I don't get this with Baylor,
do you think they're better with Robertson?
Yeah. I mean,
that would be my only challenge to the Colorado side of things would be. I don't think Jaquan Finn was a P4 level quarterback.
Nah.
And again, now that was against
thrower. He wasn't.
Robertson, did this against what might be the worst rendition of Air Force since, I don't know, the Civil War.
Agreed.
But they're like so bad. I'm like having should we be worried about our national security? This is like the worst Air Force team I can remember in our lifetime. Like, what is I've never seen. I got to go back to the record book to see how the team can't score. They're like 10
They
points.
They were 2-10 a few years ago. They might be 2-10 this year.
I think that'd be a good year for him. From what
that's
I've
another
seen.
win total. I'm gonna have to write you a check, or I'm gonna have to personally drive to Detroit and hand you a bag full of money because that was another win total. I told you to bet over 5.5. I think it goes 6.5, 7. We're dead. we're dead.
Yeah. That one is as dead as it. There was a 1-2-10 season under Troy Calhoun. They never were worse than 5-7 though, except outside of that.
I thought they were 2-10 one year.
No, they did have 1-2-10 year in 2013.
Oh wow, 10 years ago.
That was like old. Outside of that, there was you got to go way back to have the type of
wow.
As bad as it's getting this year. So,
I mean, the unbelievably bad offense. Another team where you think, they don't return much, but Air Force isn't up and down too much.
Right.
You can't change their power rating. Yeah, I guess you can. Unbelievable. Oof. Looking here. How many viewers do we got? Send that to me, Zach. I guess we lost some, I'm guessing. Harry in the chat. Everyone needs to retweet the Hit the Books announcement or tell someone need to get this to 700-800 viewers. When you go 3-9, you're not gonna get you're not gonna grow the audience. So we had 610, so we didn't lose that much. So that's good. Currently right around 600. That's good. TCU money line. SMU looks terrible. Cheers from Brazil. Diego Cunha. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Where you at on this game? I kind of like the over.
I bet some TCU early. For one of my guys, like the minus. I think there was like a 1.5 or something. And a little bit.
Like 2.5.
Yeah,
that's best bet. I don't have a problem with that.
I'm in on the 2.5 there.
Is that what we got? Let's wait. FanDuel.
I was gonna say the FanDuel lean. Do they have that?
No, lock it in. Boom. 2.5.
Is it? Hold on a second. Let me see where. I think that money line is like too cheap for.
Oh, you want to do the money line instead?
No, I'm just looking at what the other. That is the cheapest money line in the market right now. Most places are minus 130.
Let's do money line instead. Minus 128.
Because I think, the 2.5s are pretty much well populated, but nobody's got that cheap of the money line. So
all right.
It
ain't that now. You see, look what happened.
There you go. That's now you can get. I don't think anybody has now. If you didn't get it in, that's don't bet that minus 150. But
we might have went 3-9, but at least they still respect us. So wow, yeah. Don't bet 3.5 now, please.
Yeah, I agree. But listen, I don't. I thought TCU and the tailgate tent, Wajay, the lucky son of a bit, was on UCF. They were handling their business all game until that last boom, 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 and it hits. So that doesn't throw me off of TCU in terms of, I think, being an upgrade from last year and being a pretty good team. And the SMU we've seen looks like trash for the most part. So their defense all right, but I don't know if there's anything coming to save SMU in terms of, like, even with Jennings at quarterback. The offensive line is just in shambles.
Yeah, Tailgate did get that one at the end. Although, I mean, UCF was okay. But speaking of Tailgate, Tent, he says he loves us guys. Does Travis Hunter have his third Heisman moment of the season this weekend? Nah.
I do think he's not going to win the Heisman, obviously, because Colorado's not good enough. He is, I think, the best non-lineman, like, from a professional standpoint, NFL. I would take him, like, I think he's going to go like top 3. Like, he's the best prospect, wide receiver, DB, running back, any of those positions that it's not. Honestly, probably even better than. Is there a lock quarterback? I don't think he goes above, the number one quarterback or that, but.
Who is the number one quarterback? Beck?
Beck, or, I mean, it's been what? Beck, Sanders, Ewers as
I'd take him over Shador. Come on. Ewers sucks. Beck, we'll see. I don't know.
So I think he does have a chance.
Hunter one.
Yeah, like I don't think you go. We'll see, but he is an unbelievable prospect. Like, I'll give it. I sold him a little short earlier in the year when at wide receiver, but I mean, he's playing like the guy's in like the shape of Greek guy. Like, it reminds me of the Christian McCaffrey streak where he played like every snap on offense for the Panthers for like an entire season. He's playing like 100+ snaps with like nobody's done this since like the turn of the century.
Well, even longer than that. I mean, Dion and some other guys, Woodson, they did a little bit. They weren't playing 100+ snaps a game.
Right.
So, yeah, they haven't done this in two-way stuff in like the 50s.
Right.
I'm serious.
I know. I hear you.
Yeah. So, yeah, if the Heisman was about the best player in the country, which it never is, then I think Tailgate had a great bet. But it's not about the best player. It's usually you got to be on a great team.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan Joey K could quarterback a win over Florida. Why didn't they fire Napier? Because now they play Mississippi State, they win. Then you're awkward. It's a bye week. I don't get it. I would have fired him after.
I know a friend of the show, Bud, was saying they don't like who would you put as interim? Because
he did. That was a good point.
A lot of guys on the staff that you like. They did not.
That's a problem, though. You don't have anybody on the staff that you trust to be the interim.
That's a problem. I don't know. I mean, at the same time, what is I mean, I don't know. Do you just roll through?
Yeah, he gets fired after Central Florida beats him in a few weeks on their home field. So that'll be my projection. Do you agree or disagree with that?
Yeah, I agree. I think the pressure will get like the emotional like pressure of being the Florida fan base will just demand blood and want him out. And I think they'll cave. Logically, I don't think it makes a difference whether him or not through the end of the season, but I think people just foam at the mouth, want blood, and they want him fired.
A few more here, and then we'll go through the board and see if we got a few more best bets. Speaking of best bets, Jimmy's Teeth, LSU first half. What do you think of LSU this week? I know
I saw the
Dr. Bob came back on UCLA.
Yeah, I was gonna say I did the little tout wars there.
Yeah, I think UCLA could be the worst power team.
They really could.
It could be Mississippi State. Purdue bad.
Yep. No, I'm with you because that was they were not competitive versus an Indiana team that again is a nice story, but that's not like a great team or anything, and you're getting destroyed by that's another. I mean, we just talked about it. That's how much worse is the UCLA team this year from last year, and that was
the market's got a handle. I know I didn't have a handle on my power ratings the first couple weeks.
Yeah, I mean that's.
I don't hate that. Bring up the full game. I'm going to go best bet LSU minus 24. Do you disagree or no?
No, I don't disagree with it.
It's just I would have. Oh my god! I don't want
you got the FanDuel
24.5. Widely available 24. Go ahead. Lay it. But yeah, we won't put that down there. I would have regrets if LSU won like 49-7. I'd be like, why didn't I bet LSU? Not that LSU's that great. I just think UCLA could be like Mississippi State, Purdue level bad. And there's still some priors in there.
I don't know. Like, what does UCLA this year's team do well? Like, really,
nothing
in any facet. Like, it's. I mean, last year's defense had some, first round, some nasty play. Like this year, and that Hawaii game looks even
there you
worse.
Go. You hit the nail on the head. Now we can start connecting dots. Hawaii is terrible.
Yeah,
you almost lost to Delaware State, and they got rolled by Sam Houston.
Yeah,
and they like double digits at home to Hawaii is terrible.
Yeah, I mean,
I like Indiana also quite a bit, but again, Indiana necessarily hasn't played a lot of people though either. So
no, I agree. And if I think LSU can name it in this one.
Yeah, I think Kelly's already talking about. I think they found a running back a little bit. Remember, that was one we won't ever get credit for. We said, hey, LSU's going to come back and win this game. Remember on the half?
No, I know.
And they did. I know they got some beneficial breaks, but that's one that could turn their season around. And Kelly's talking about, like, he was on Feinbaum today, and I think they're going to want to put 60 minutes together. I'll just put it that way. I think that's a burial. I mean, I could see a 50-point win, to be honest with you. So Foster has been not up to the moment since the Big Ten.
That's a disaster.
The moment is way too big for him so far.
And I see Tripp in there, Eric Bieniemy, who was like, people were saying, why wasn't he an NFL head coach for like 5 years when he was at under Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes? And it's like, well, I think we figured out why.
He wasn't doing anything.
He
wasn't. Come on. Unbelievable. So LSU minus 24. If you can find it, there you go. We got to use the FanDuel lines here. Big Ross got to start hating the portfolio again. Yeah, we'll do that this week. Definitely.
Yep. That's coming.
Yeah, hate the portfolio. Hate it. Holt, any updated Heisman thoughts? Kind of want to be anti-Cam Ward, given no big games. I don't know. I agreed with the tent, and there was a feeling I had late. I ended up betting Cam Ward late.
Yeah, he had me out running.
I wouldn't bet it now.
No.
Yeah, I'd bet the no. I mean now, but where are you at on this? I haven't added anything in a few weeks.
Me neither. I do think Lane is like actively trying to. We talked about a little bit about this today, like trying to get Dart the Heisman, but it's like the price has already come down so much. It does seem the market's kind of shaped up here. The thing with Cam Ward is like, I think Miami there's a chance they can run the table, like a good chain. And I mean, they're going to be favored in every game.
Yep.
And he's going to be able to put up some stats. And then Quinn was the big threat there. Like, Ewers was the guy where Texas is like winning all these, if they can run through the SEC, bigger profiles at Texas quarterback. Now, if he misses a few weeks,
he probably ain't going to get it.
Yeah, he probably can't get back in it. And so, I don't know. This seems like there's nobody outside of that top 3 or 4 there that I'd be looking at adding.
It's also an award anymore that's won in November. So it's not like a career achievement award anymore. So
yeah, agreed.
I think we'll have a better grasp in November. I know the prices will move around, but something you can be pretty confident in 6 weeks. Chuck C, new member. Appreciate you, Chuck. Luke, did someone turn the heat up in here? Brad rocking the powder blue Chargers. Like help contrast Joey's white tee so amazingly well. Simple but genius. These are fashion goats in the industry.
Well, you don't come for the picks anymore, baby. You had to come for the style. So that's what we're a swag show now, and movie reviews as opposed to college football.
Chuck C says FCS is already up on FanDuel. I'm not ready to dive into that on a Monday. So, my goodness, I'm not ready. FCS has been that's been a little wild too this year.
I actually had
another one that we should have just had conviction. We're doing a Saturday live show. What did I say? North Dakota. You were there betting it. They
I
freaking
well,
killed
no, I
Idaho
got to give
State.
you a hat tip because I actually bet that, and
I
they
know
had
you
the-
were betting it. So
they had the best price in the market too, and we still
Yeah.
didn't give it as on FanDuel.
we didn't give it out. How
No.
dumb are we?
Like the only 9.5 available and didn't fire it as a best.
Yeah, we
bet.
didn't fire.
And
And
it's
it
like
wasn't even-
38-0 in the second quarter.
They're legit. North
Yeah.
Dakota. I watched them against Iowa State, and I'm like, this is a legit team. I would say they're live to win it all
Agreed.
in the FCS.
Because some of the cream of the crop in the FCS has not been
North Dakota, I mean, again, I follow it. They almost did you see that? North Dakota State had scored 2 touchdowns in the final couple minutes
Yeah,
to beat
yeah.
Tennessee State. So, and South Dakota State's down this year. So North Dakota's live to win it all. Not North Dakota State, North Dakota.
Yeah.
All right, let's recap it. Let's see what we got. Best bets. Oh, we got a money line parlay. We got to do that. We're out of the gate with a loss last week. We had 2 embarrassers. We had Kansas and Mississippi State. So not good. 4-2 loser. We got I think 7 legs this week. Zach, if you want to bring that up. Now, caveat, need 4-1 is what the parameters they give me. And the parameters that I put on myself is if I bet the team, the favorite on the spread on the open, then that qualifies for me. Obviously, I could give out, Texas and Ohio State and a bunch of teams like that. Maybe I will one week do like a 15-legger on 4 touchdown favorites. But if I bet the team on the spread, then obviously I think they're going to cover as a favorite. Let's put them in the money line. App State. There's been money in the market today on App State like that. That's on the Thursday. I think people are overreacting to the South Alabama game last week. So I think there's value on App State spread and money line. North Carolina, you and I disagree on that one. So you don't like that one. I do. Louisville. I like Louisville this week. I like Louisville against the spread. So let's do the money line there. Sam Houston's a sneaky team. Keep an eye on them. We've talked about it for a few weeks now. They're live in Conference USA. Might be more I think about it. Liberty's not as good. Is Sam Houston live to win it? What do you think?
I mean, listen. I gotta talk. Finish your
Okay,
parlay there.
I'll finish it. 7.
And then I gotta give you a
Favorite
conference
parlay.
feature thought.
Wow. Zach said should we turn in a 7-team underdog round robin? Funny, Zach. Unbelievable. Fresno State, just better numbers. I think New Mexico is pretty decent, but I think sooner or later New Mexico's gonna run out of gas. Kansas State on the road against BYU, not ideal, but I did lay it. Army, Rice is bad. So
Oh yeah.
there you go.
All right, conference future added to the portfolio today.
All right.
And you give me yay or nay here, whether you like it. I put on the red bandana, Boston College. It was like 33-1, 35-1 ACC. They don't play Clemson or Miami on the season. Have Louisville at home. And a lot of we're like some of the SEC or the ACC. Obviously, they already got the Florida State victory in pocket. If you look at the ACC schedule and how good, I think they're significantly improved. I would have that. I think they're a better team than the 4 teams listed above them there. The Virginia Tech, the SMU, NC State, Syracuse. So I think
I don't hate it.
Especially without Clemson and Miami on the schedule. I think they're live to make the title game. Again, they'd be an underdog against a Clemson or Miami, in the title. But at that price, if you can get there, FanDuel 25-1 or better, I think they've got a real good shot to actually make the title game.
They're buttoned up. Bill O'Brien's decent coach.
Yep.
You look at who he won Penn State with Hackenberg. Won with idiot Deshaun Watson in Houston. And might not be so bad. Maybe that Bryce Young went on a Heisman with Bill O'Brien as the offensive coordinator doesn't look so bad. No.
It's another. That's a sneaky one. I agree.
Yeah. Maybe it's not so bad, folks. Let's look at the board real quick. I don't know if you could do this. Scroll through. Is there anything that we missed? Anything you want to give out? We gave out LSU best bet. What else did we give out? I know we're a little light today.
Yeah, we are a little. Where are you at on the Houston-Cincy game? Let's just come down.
I like Houston.
Me too, but God,
Where we at on that? Just scroll down just a little, Zach. Just I think a couple games. I think it's a noon start on Saturday. I thought it was. Maybe it's not. There it is. Where are we going? I know it was 6 and stuff, but
I know.
I'm taking it. No, hold on. Let me guess. FanDuel opened it up at 7.5, and you took Houston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also.
What time are you waking up for this? I'm waking up at like 4 a.m. out here on the West Coast, and stuff's like gone already.
But I actually added some, not just the FanDuel, like I bet the circuit price, I bet some so. And again, this is from a guy who, of course, faded you. So I'm going, it'll flip this week and they'll get curled. But I think they're real live in this game.
Let's give it out plus 4.5 because I do think they're live too. I think they're the better team, and you're going to probably have them in the money line round robin. Yeah,
I agree.
I'm okay with 4.5 too. I think they're the better team.
I agree with you.
I'm not buying Cincinnati. I know 10 gave them out and won last week, but I wasn't overwhelmed with their Miami, Ohio performance. So, boom. There's one. Got another one?
No, I think that was the only one I was kind of eyeing on the radar for the moment.
The problem is you and I went head to head on like 5 or 6 games.
I know.
So, what do you think of Northwestern, Washington?
Don't have nothing on that one at the moment.
All right, fair enough. I like the dog.
Okay.
Especially at the hook. I'm looking at my card. A lot of stuff we pushed. I'm not wild on totals. I thought I got lucky on a bunch of totals last week because I gave out like 3 or 4 overs and there was like weather and stuff. I happened to win a few, but I'm a little. We'll see with weather. There are quite a few totals that I'll probably give out on Friday. I don't know. I got nothing else. I don't think it's an all right show. I wouldn't say it's just to put in perspective. I'm pretty critical. I don't think this was our best show, but we got through it. We pushed through it.
hey, be beaten down, but not out, baby.
Yeah. So I appreciate everybody watching. Unless you got any closing thoughts, I think that's going to do it.
No, I'm telling you, let's a little bounce back week. Hate the portfolio, and
I don't like it. And you could tell, energy's down a little bit.
Get going on Friday.
Sucks. Everything sucks. So, especially Michigan. So that'll do it for the man, the myth, the legend himself, Joey Knish, producer extraordinaire Zach Phillips. All your questions, comments, concerns, we appreciate you guys. You guys are the star of the show, and that show being Hit the Books live, Hammer Betting Network, sponsored by FanDuel. See you Friday.